This girl's fact. Today, we're doing a tier list of 150 random indie horror games for the first video of 8th October 2023. We've got 150 random indie horror games to tier list here. Let's not wasting more time. Let's get into this. S tiers were great. The best, love it, amazing, 10 out of 10 would play again. A is for good, a generally solid indie horror game. B is for, it's fine, it's okay, there's nothing wrong with it, it's okay, it's not great. C is for bad, I don't like it, I hate it, I want it dead. And D is for games that I recognize, but I don't really know, because I briefly scrolled through this list. There are a lot of games here that I recognize, that I cannot tell you a single thing about, so that's going in that tier. Then we have never watched / never played. Let's begin here with 1, 2, 3, Slaughter Me Street. Our first one in the D tier. I recognize that title. I recognize that character. Could not tell you what the game's about. 7 Days sounds familiar, but I can't say I've seen it. A Day in the Office, actually a really good game. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's mystery, it's unique, new gameplay. It's a nice little indie horror game wrapped with a bow. And I'll say, I wish it would just be longer. That's the reason why it's not in the S tier. Akamanto, I've probably most likely, but I can't say for 100% certainty that I've even heard of it. Although it looks very familiar, so I'm going to put it in the watch tier. Almost Home Now, I have heard of that game. Unique gameplay, but yeah, I think it's fine, so I'm going to put it in B tier. Unique gameplay, unique style, could be frustrating sometimes, never actually played, but I've seen people play it before, and it looks interesting. Probably not the kind of game that I want to play, but, it looks interesting, and probably has potential, but, I think it's fine, it's okay. Alone, again, sounds familiar, even looks familiar, but I'm not sure, so it's gonna go in that tier. Amanda the Adventurer. I think Amanda is honestly just fine. Amanda is one of those popular mascot indie horror games that's not tickled my fancy, let's just say that. Amnesia the Dark Descent. A classic. This is gonna be a weird one. I couldn't tell you what Amnesia is about, but I can tell you so many things about what it's about. So I'm just going to put it in B tier, and we're going to move on. Among the Sleep, again, I know for a fact, I know what that is, but I cannot tell you what it's about, so it's going in D tier. Andy's Apple Farm, again, I recognize that. I know for a fact what that is, but I couldn't tell you what that is. Aowani, I recognize that creature, I recognize the image. Don't know the game, but I recognize the image, so put it in D tier again. I can't say I recognize that one, although that looks like a very good game. I'm just realizing that was a giant spider. I thought that was like a death angel or something. No, that's a giant spider, and I have arachnophobia, so maybe that game's not as cool as I first thought. At Dead of Night, honestly, one of the more unique games on this list. I thought it was a very unique game. It's a simple story. It was pretty nice. It's a nice little simple horror game. I'm gonna put that in, A tier. It was solid. Bad Dream Coma, can't say I've ever heard that one before. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, and I also don't know it. Baldi's Basics. Oh, hello, Baldi. How's it going, buddy, old pal? I'm going to put it in A tier. Baldi is one of those games that's taken by storm, and just, sadly, it's kind of been forgotten. But, hey, every once in a while, I'll have a good time, watch a Baldi video on YouTube, we'll have that, oh, hi, welcome to Baldi's Basics. I haven't done that voice in actually probably a year or two, so forgive me if I'm not good at it. I remember actually playing Baldi on the channel back like the first 8th October, I'm pretty sure, actually. So yeah, it's just a genuinely, honestly, solid. It's not much going on. It's all pixely and stuff. Baldi, you guys know how Baldi is. But it's so simple but so effective. Bendy and the Ink Machine. S tier. I do love Bendy a lot. I don't talk about much on the channel, but just because, well, there's a bigger audience for FNAF and stuff. I'm more passionate about FNAF, but I love me some Bendy every now and then. When new Bendy game comes out, I'll check it out. I'll watch Matt Pat series on it. I'm aware of the lore. I'm up to date. I do love Bendy and the Ink Machine, and I can't wait to see where that franchise heads. Big Larry, can't say I've heard of that one before, but it looks very unique. Bigfoot. Okay, this is interesting. I know there's a lot of just like indie Bigfoot horror games, but are we talking about Finding Bigfoot? That one that actually, the most popular of the Bigfoot horror games, Finding Bigfoot, came out, I think, 2017-ish. This game on the screen right here. Are we talking about that? Because we are, it's a pretty good game, but I don't know. It just says Bigfoot. So I'm going to go on the hunch, saying that is Finding Bigfoot. Because just calling it Bigfoot is very loosey-goosey. There's a lot of games called that. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of them. So I'm gonna take this as Finding Bigfoot. And so then I'm gonna put it in A tier. Fun multiplayer, hunting Bigfoot game, nice graphics, it's nice, simple, but it's a nice way to spend a few hours, honestly. Bonbon, I feel like I've probably heard that before, but can't say I know it. Bonnie's Bakery, sorry, don't know that. Boofy's Bunker, I probably know it, but I don't really recognize it. Burger and Frights, okay, I do recognize that one. I'm gonna put that in just a simple B tier. A nice little game, a nice atmosphere. I must admit, Burger and Frights has a really nice atmosphere. I'm trying to remember vaguely. It's a nice little story. It's an interpretive ending. I'm not sure. Oh, that could be it, or maybe that could be it. It is up to you to decide. And I like that. It's a nice little monster design. It's a nice little spooky game. It's a nice spooky game. Close Your Eyes. Ooh, that one's from a few years back. Actually, I do remember that one. Actually, I've also put that in B tier. I feel like they had a lot of potential. I'm actually sure if anything happened to it. I think it was just a demo, maybe? I'm not sure. I do remember the dual concept, close your eyes, they're I think monsters or something like that, maybe they're objects, something like that on those lines. So I do remember it enough. Yeah, a nice little simple, little sweet little game. Creepy Tale, can't say I know it, but that looks really good. I would love to play that. Dark Deception is going in B tier for me. A lot of people are probably going to actually disagree with that, but I just never really got into Dark Deception. I know it's about and stuff, yeah, but it's one of those games where we're kind of like Amanda, we're oh yeah, this is a good game. It's just that I haven't gotten to it much FNAF or Bendy. Dark Wood? I swear, this sounds so familiar. I almost definitely have heard of that, but I don't know what this is. I know, I'm almost 9 times out of 10 I've heard of this game, but I can't say I know it. Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight's honestly pretty fun. You can go in A tier. Multiplayer horror, man. It's honestly, I was playing on the channel. I would have if my internet wasn't terrible and it would never load. Maybe one day I can actually play Dead by Daylight. If I could have played it, I'm sure it would have been an easy S tier. I've heard so many great things about it. I've also just seen so many great things about it, and I'm sure I would love it. I think it's a really great game. It's just that if I actually ever got to play it, that would be nice. Dead Realm. I recognize that face. Could never forget that face. Could not tell you what it's about. Deceit? This looks familiar, but I can't say I know it for a fact. Deep Fog? Again, that looks familiar, but I can't say I know it. Demon Child? Okay, I do recognize that. I remember that game. I'm a fan of C-Tier. I remember it just being this game had a nice setup, a nice little, kind of Baldi's Basics art style, but even actually worse than Baldi. And I remember it could have been done, but I think the way I'm remembering it, it's a 5, maybe 3-minute experience, and there was a lot to be desired. They could have done something, but I feel like it was one of those games where it's potential. There's potential there, but I feel like it took the easy route and just showed you the potential, but didn't show you anything else besides that. Detention. Can't say I know what that is. Devour, that looks so familiar. The name sounds familiar. It's ringing a bell somewhere, but I can't say I know for a fact, so it has to go in last here. So sorry. Do copy, really good, easy A tier. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's by Puppet Combo. Man, they make some of the best horror games. We actually played one, I think, last name it's over, the Evil, or Nun Massacre, yeah. Ooh, one of the worst jump scares I've ever had in the game. That jump scare was awful. Yeah, but, Puppet Combo, they make such great horror games. The atmosphere is really, they're scary, atmospheric, and I love them. New copies on Inception, probably one of my favorites, actually, Puppet Combo. I would gladly play more, but a lot of them are not actually on mobile. They're only actually, Nun Massacre, so I actually did play that. Yeah, but if any other Puppet Combo, games ever come out to mobile, or in the future, once I upgrade my equipment, I will gladly play some more Puppet Combo horror games. Doki Doki Literature Club. Gonna put in B tier. Personally, I was never really into it. I know a lot of people are. I've seen a lot of people play it. I've heard it's really good. I don't remember much about it, but I know enough about Doki Doki to where I don't have to go, I have no idea what this is about. No, I know what it's about. It's just that it never tickled my fancy. Dread Delusion. I can't say I know what that is, but it sounds a bit familiar. Duck Season. Duck Season. This was those that VR game that came out a few years back, I think 2018, 17, like that. Complex lore. I think that game got a sequel that wasn't connected to it like at all. It was really unique. Man, Dog Season, I forgot. I love that. That's a great game. Ooh, that's honestly, I gotta say, that's easy S tier. Dying of Thirst. Actually, yeah, I know that. I'm just gonna put it in gonna put it in B tier. Emily wants to play, oh, another VR. I could put that in A tier. Honestly, it's really nice. Eerie, I recognize that for a fact. I know that for a fact. I know what game that is. But I couldn't tell you what the plot or the story is, so I'm going to sadly put it in D tier. Escape the Ayawaki, or the Michael Jackson horror game as we all know it. I could put that in A tier, honestly. Like, it was nice. It was a joke, kind of. But again, the further it went on in development, like, I have kept up with Escape the Ayawaki. It became its own thing. It wasn't really a thing with, like, Michael Jackson anymore. It was its own thing. And still, like, an idea is like a Michael Jackson horror game. Sounds ridiculous. But what the developer done with that game was, like, actually made it really scary. And instead of hearing a hee and going, ha ha ha, you go, oh my god! Evil Nun. Oh, if I'm not mistaken, it's by, this studio on the map, the game company. I don't know what it's called. They made, like, a lot of these games like Ice Cream and stuff like that, or Ice Cream, I should say, not Ice Cream, which I do plan on playing these October, the Ice Cream games. I've heard they're really good. I know I'm late to the party, but I still want to play them. Evil Nun, I'm gonna put it in, it's C tier. I'm sorry, it's just a Granny ripoff. I know, like, it's a Granny ripoff. There's not much to it. It's like Granny, just not as good. So honestly, it's kind of a bad game. It's kind of fun to watch someone play, but to actually play it, I don't think it'd be that much fun. Evil, can't say I know what that is. Eyes! Oh, one other classic indie mobile horror games. Oh, that brings excellent memories. Oh, I might play this October, who knows? Oh man, that brings back memories from my childhood. Eyes, I'm gonna put that in A tier. It's just, I remember that game so much. You collect the money in the abandoned house with, just a nice creep factor, just scary throughout. It's a neat gameplay, I must say so myself. If you haven't checked this game out, I highly recommend it. I remember it being really good. Maybe not good, but I remember it being like, it was scary. It was like one of those first big indie mobile horror games. Oh man, Eyes, easy A tier. Easy A tier. Faith looks familiar, but I can't say I know what that is. Fatum Betula, maybe, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Can't say I've seen it, but I'll say the cat looks very familiar on that, but I can't say I know it. Fence in the Forest sounds familiar, but I can't say I know it. Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh. The first FNAF, in my opinion, is still the best FNAF. I love the FNAF franchise. He's my favorite horror game franchise. But the first FNAF is, like, undoubtedly the creepiest and scariest of the FNAF games. The atmosphere in that game has been unmatched to this end. I've talked about this before on the podcast. But what the first FNAF did is nothing the other games could ever create. Like, they can never create that. They come close. Like, FNAF 2, FNAF 3, Help Wanted. And, of course, Help Wanted is going to be scary. It's VR. That makes sense. But what FNAF 1 did, it changed the world. FNAF... And also, this is just the first FNAF. It's not the entire franchise. This is just the first FNAF game. Man, it just... The first FNAF is also probably one of the scariest games I've ever watched someone play and actually played. Also, it was the first game I played on the channel, so it's actually very important to this channel. The first ever gaming video I ever did. It's horrible. Please don't go watch it. But still, just... FNAF is scary. FNAF is legitimately scary. It's like... something that FNAF achieved that no other game's been able to ever do, in my opinion. And so FNAF is easy S here. Easy S here. There's no question. There's no doubt about it. Franbo, it looks familiar by... I mean, I think... that art style is so familiar, but I can't say I know it, so I'm going to put it in the last tier, because it looks super familiar. I feel like I know it. But there's like a little part of me that goes, Gary Don, I don't think you know what this is. Frosty Nights. Ooh, underrated horror game on the list. Frosty Nights, loved it. Loved it. That's going easy A tier. Snowman, horror game, Christmassy, unique gameplay, unique snowman designs. If you haven't checked it out, highly recommend it. If you ever heard a game called Boogeyman, the Boogeyman. Those are two games that, same developer. I know those were kind of popular, kind of FNAF clones for a little bit. Frosty Nights is it's kind of like FNAF, but it's so much more. It's a unique story, and like it was one of the games that just kind of connected with me, you know. Golden Light, can't say I know it. Granny, oh, you spawned so many rip-off horror games, and honestly, you're gonna go in A tier. I feel like what Granny did was something no other games had really done before up to that point, and it kind of changed the indie horror game. It really did, and honestly, it's so simple that it's so effective. Granny is honestly an intimidating threat. The traps are unique. The puzzles are decently hard, and you know, Granny's just like it's a simple horror game, but it's one that you can just you can really enjoy. Happy Hubble's Burger Farm. Ooh, I'm actually gonna put that in B tier. I think that was a solid horror game. I'm gonna keep up with development and how it went, like with every update, like it got kind of better and better. Unique story of that restaurant, and the designs, and oh man, honestly, pretty scary, but also like unique gameplay. Just something like you're kind of your life story. You go up, you go to work, and you slowly unravel the mystery of this world and the Happy Humble Burger Farm. It was just one of those games like it was just really nice, just really nice. Hello, neighbor. Hey, how you doing? I'll put you in A tier. Hello, neighbor. Just like Great, cause a bunch of ripoffs of itself. But man, back in Hello Neighbor wasn't releasing spin-offs every other year, and it was a respectable horror game. Ooh, it was nice. The map features were rolling out, the gameplays were rolling out. Nice memories. A good story, I think one of the first big indie horrors were they wanted you, to check out the map, look around, find the clues, find the lore. The lore! Oh, I remember that. People find discoveries when they clip out the map. Oh, just so many good memories. And just also intimidating. The neighbor was intimidating, all the puzzles and stuff. It was nice. Easy A tier. Hello Puppets. I know what Hello Puppets is. I recognize it so much, and I know a bit about it. VR head game, going to the Old Bang Studio, I think. With these puppets, but I couldn't tell you what the game is really about because I don't really remember that much. I remember it was that VR horror game about puppets. That's what I remember about it. So I know what Hello Puppets is. I remember it being good. I just don't remember what it was about other than that VR puppet horror game. Hide and Shriek? That sounds so familiar. I know I've almost definitely seen it, but I can't say I've seen it. House? I remember that one. I do remember that one. I'm gonna put that in a B tier. Nice gameplay. I remember it was I think it was something where it's the more you die, the more you got to go back. Now you know that you got to change stuff. I think that's how it was. Maybe something to do with time, something like that. I remember just vaguely enough for it to actually not go into the final tier. Yeah, I thought it was just really unique. Pixel art style, but it was nice. Just for this game's it's a little bit of a thinker. Hungry Lamu. Oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, I know Hungry Lamu. I know Hungry Lamu. B tier. Nice little, and honestly, just a nice little, simple little concept. It starts as kind of when it was oh, this is a friendly, happy, good old game. Baldy, and, et cetera, Amanda. And then it goes from, just 0 to 1,000 real quick, and just all sorts of creepiness. And, I like that, tension. It builds up. It builds it up. It doesn't just go bam, bam, jump scare, jump scare. It builds up that creep factor until, at the end of the game, you're really creeping out, because it's oh, God, was that Lamu I saw? Oh, was that Lamu? No, it wasn't. And so it just the build of that game is really nice. It's something I haven't seen a lot of. I haven't seen a lot of indie horror games do that, where the build that game achieved was really good. Nice, simple, but effective. I remember this dream. That looks so familiar, but I can't say I know what that is. It looks really familiar. Ice Cream, as I mentioned before, I would love to play it this October. I don't know if it's going to be this October. They might get delayed till next year or something like that. But I do plan on playing the Ice Cream games. I've planned to for a good while now. That games were just so simple but so effective. Especially, I like that, again, I can't remember the name of the developer or the company that makes these games. But, they were just they kind of made a little horror cinematic universe. They kind of did that. And so far I've been the first. I guess Garden Band Band may be doing its own thing, but we don't talk about Garden Band Band. Hopefully it's on this list. I mean, it could be. I don't know. Yeah, but Ice Cream, especially Ron, which is the Ice Cream guy, his voice acting is actually really good. A unique story, so you wouldn't think about that. It's obviously can be turned into a horror game so easy. That hadn't been done before. It's yeah, it's cheap. It's a mobile horror game. How it'd be. But, for what it was, it's pretty good. I'm scared. I recognize that. Can't say I know it, so I'm gonna put it in detail. I recognize that for a fact. I can never forget that face. Neither can you now that you've seen it. Yeah, but I couldn't tell you what that game's about. Inflection, can't say I've ever heard of it. Inscription, that sounds really familiar, but I can't say I can't say I've ever seen it before. Inside the Backrooms, yep, I've heard of that game before. I have actually watched people play. I'm gonna put that in a solid B tier. The monsters were unique. The gameplay is multiplayer. I'm pretty sure that game is multiplayer, by the way. And yeah, it was nice and just like there's not a lot I can say about it. It's the Backrooms. We all know what the Backrooms is. So what more can I say about the Backrooms that's already been said? Inside, oh, another classic. I actually plan to play that one this October too, so be on the lookout for that. Inside, I'm gonna put Inside. A tier. Inside was really good. It was creepy. It was a nice puzzle game. Amazing graphics. I love how that game looks. It is still probably one of the most appealing horror games I've ever seen. And it was just like, Inside, I couldn't tell what everything happens. I remember that game, like, you know, from like, I remember. Actually, I played on the channel like long ago. And Inside, great game. Aslyn, aka the game Markiplier starring into a movie. Can't wait to see that movie, Markiplier. I'm sure it's gonna be great. But Aslyn, honestly, I find it to be creepy, not scary. It's just slightly intimidating. So I'm gonna put in B tier. Kind of like Amanda, kind of like those games. It didn't quite tickle my fancy the slightest amount. But for what it was, I think it is good. It steals. I feel like I've heard about that, but I can't say I have. Last Bus Home. Oh, I feel like I've definitely almost 100% heard of that game, but can't say I have. Layers of Fear, another one. That sounds familiar. I've probably watched someone play before, but I can't say I have. Leany Boog. Oh, one of those unique horror games that came out like a few years back, I think, that you kind of, had a little wave, and they kind of just dipped down after that. You don't really hear anything about it anymore. The full game was unique, you know. I think it had a couple of endings, which I don't think it had a good ending, if I remember correctly. And, I love the design of Leany Boog, the wolf himself. I don't remember exactly all the lore, but I remember it, well enough. Yeah, Leany Boog was one of those games, like, it was unique. It was something different. You didn't get anything like it before. You definitely got anything like it after. Leftovers, can't say I know what that is, sadly. Lidar.exe, can't say I know it. Limbo, another classic. It falls in the same category as, like, Inside, just, amazing art style. I love how that game looks. It's amazing. I actually played this one on October as well. Be on the lookout for that. Little Nightmares. I'm gonna give some hate for this. I've briefly seen Little Nightmares, and I know what it is. I've heard there's a third game coming out or something like that, but I couldn't tell you what the game's about. I don't know the lore. I don't know really anything about it that much. I think it looks unique. It's probably really good. I should definitely give it a chance sometime. But I can't say I really know it that well, so I'm going to put it in D tier. I know what that is. Like, I know Little Nightmares is, but I don't really know what the story is. I'm sorry. Lone Survivor, don't know what that is. Mad Father, can't say I know what that is. Madison, you could not forget that face. I recognize that game. Oh boy, do I recognize that game. I actually remember quite a bit about it. But then B tier, I remember that game being actually really scary. Like doing like shaking, like, you know, like screaming in fear, like kind of like actual scariness. Like it looked really good. Like I had a nice little story. Not really a story. It was like a long experience. I think it's close to an hour experience, I think. And it was honestly really scary. One of those horror games is like really genuinely scary. Malkins, because I know what that is. Midnight Evil, I know for a fact I've seen that, but I couldn't tell you what in the world it's about. Bonham, I swear I've seen that. I know I've seen that, but I have seen that before. I know for a fact I have. So it's going in D tier. I don't know what it could possibly be, but I know for a fact I have seen whatever that lava monster looking guy is. Mr. Op's Playoffs? Come on, I know Mr. Op. Mr. Op, really good. Mr. Meat, the one by the ice cream guys. I actually don't really know this one well enough to actually, like, you know, list it. Yo, Mr. White! Yeah, I remember this game. I couldn't forget that wonderful face. And also, I think there's another granny clone. You just run in the house, kind of to find clues and stuff. And I'm just gonna put that in a C tier. Great design, but, you know, you could have something actually with this game, so it's just making it a ripoff. Mundrun, can't say I know what that is. Mark House, I recognize that, I'm pretty sure by Public Combo, actually. Yeah, I recognize that game. I can't really tell you what it's about, but I do recognize it. My Beautiful Paper Smile, that sounds so familiar, but I feel like I know. I feel like I know what that is, but I can't say I do. So it's going in. It's going last year. I'm so sorry. My Happy Place. Can't say I know it. Night Blights. Ooh, Night Blights. Like the Gremlins of indie horror games. I like it. It's honestly just really simple. You're a kid. You gotta feed these toys. You gotta feed the Night Blights your toys. Otherwise, they'll eat your family. That's basically it. It's like a 5-night, 7-night system, something like that, kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's really simple and nice. It's just like it's effective. There's like intimidation, like your heart rate, so you gotta feed the toys. Otherwise, it's gonna eat your sister. Kind of like that. So I'm thinking Night Blights a good beat here, honestly. A nice little simple little game. No One Lives Under the Lighthouse. Yeah, I recognize that. I recognize that game. And it's going in B tier. Nice aesthetically, nice mystery, creepy atmosphere, and ooh, I remember that game. It's just ooh. One of those games that you kind of have to go check out if you haven't already. No Players Online. I feel like I recognize that title, but I couldn't tell you what the game's about. No Psych Hotel, I remember that. Very short horror game. Like, I think, like, incredibly short. Like, maybe not even, like, 5 minutes. But I think it was effective what done. It was very effective what done. Well, I mean, it's a lie. There was definitely 6 Nights Hotel. That's for a fact. There was definitely 6 Nights Hotel. They were going real on that. But it was nice for what it was, it would be interesting to maybe, like, not a football horror game, maybe like an action horror game with the snakes and all that stuff. That'd be kind of cool to see. But for what it is, it's fine. It's nowhere. It's not bad. It can't be bad. It's like 5 minutes long, but it's not great or anything. Observer System Redux. I can't say I know what that is, but it looks like a very unique game. Amori, can't say I know it. RL is something suffering. I don't know it. Sorry. Outlast. I'm sorry to all you, like, Outlast fans out there, because I know there is a massive Outlast. Outlast. I don't really know what Outlast. I've never looked into it. I've never watched him play it. I don't really know what it is. I'm so sorry. If you learn the comments below, let me know in the comments below what it's even about. I'm pretty sure about zombies or something like that. Monsters, not sure. I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's great. A legend. I have heard these things. But I don't know. I know what it is. Like, I've heard the name Outlast. I recognize that face. I could not tell you a single thing about the game. Pacify, I recognize that game. I remember actually everything that happened in the game, because it was relatively kind of a 30-minute experience. It's not a great horror game or anything. So it's just going in C tier. I remember it being really frustrating and just not really being great, but not being the worst game I've ever played. So it was kind of bad. Pen Pal sounds familiar. Can't say I know what it is, though. Phasmophobia. Oh, Phasmophobia. As someone who, is I kind of a nerd in paranormal kind of stuff. Phasmophobia, it kind of tastes like horror game with ghosts, and sometimes it can get your ghost facts right. It does a good job at that. And, so if I already play on the channel, which I maybe one day I might, I don't know, I would just be spitting, I'm actually, according to my calculator, that's not correct, that's actually inaccurate, or I'd be going, oh, wow, a great job, game, you actually got that right. So I'm gonna put Phasmophobia, I'm gonna put that in A tier. Really scary, I remember, that game's really scary. Pin, I can't say I know what that is, but it's going there. Or pink, this is pink, never mind, pink. Well, I don't know what pink is, I'm so sorry. Play with me? I know that clown for 100%, but couldn't tell you what that's about. Poppy Playtime! The first indie horror game that kind of made people go, oh, so that's a genre? It kind of made people realize indie horror games were kind of a thing, There's a difference between them and just normal indie horror games, mascot horror games. I'm gonna put Poppy, honestly, A tier. I feel like, I feel like the first game, it's a nice build-up, the first game, it's honestly impressive what Mob Games kind of did with that first game. Considering they are, it looks really good, it looks professional, let's just be honest here, it looks professional. And I like Huggy, a great design, intimidating, the vent scene, brings up memories of terror. Pylons, can't say I know what that is. Rake. That brought back some flashbacks. Man, I remember watching D Live on YouTube playing this game oh my god, it's one of those games that's like it's so bad that it's great. Man, I can't put I can't put it in like a bad tier. I gotta put it in C tier. It's a bad game. It's really bad. Mechanics are really bad. It's not a good game. But man, so many fun memories of that game. I gotta put it in B tier. Radus? I can't say I know what that is. Ramut? I feel like that sounds familiar, but I can't say I know what it is. Room Before the Dark? Hey, I recognize that game. A nice, simple game. I feel like it could have been better, but it wasn't bad. Just B tier. It's fine. Seiko no Suktiko, something like that. I don't know what it is. ATP is 9, 8, or 0, 8, and 7. That's either a 9 or a 0. It's 8-bit text, so it's hard to tell what it is. I recognize that. I know what that is. So I'm gonna put that in just a simple B tier. It was fine. SCP Containment Breach, a really good game, honestly. The SCP is something that's always intrigued me. I'm not crazy about them. I am like, cryptids or, creepypastas, but it's something that has intrigued me a little bit. And, also, I feel like SCPs and creepypastas kind of aren't those kind of the same thing? Don't they overlap? Aren't just SCPs kind of more specific creepypastas? And they could be, I don't know. I don't know a lot about SCP. So not like about the franchise as a whole. I kind of do know just about like, the individual monsters, like the big lanky light one. So I can put that in this B tier. I think it's good. I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember enough. Shipwreck 64, I recognize that game, and it was also really nice. A lot of mystery, you gotta find the secret little lore, maybe like Nintendo 64, X style. So it's nice and solid. Even though I did not grow up in that time period when that was a thing, still nostalgic. I don't care what you say. Siren had the game that I think very short, a 5-minute game. That really I think exploded Siren Head into popularity. I think back in 2020 and 2021, something like that. Oh man, the fact that I'm having to recall this a few years ago is like. Anyways, let's not remember those times. Let's think about happier times, now times. So I honestly I love the concept of Siren Head. It's simple, but it can be so scary. Imagine that you just hear the siren. The concept of Siren Head is so scary. The game it uses it well. It does use it well. It's it's nice and spooky and scary. Slender the 8 Pages. In my opinion, kind of the original indie horror game. And that also may Jillian just be a fact. I'm not entirely sure. 2012 was a year built different. We got Slender Man. That's when Slender Man exploded in popularity. We all know Slender. Slender the 8 Pages is built different. And it's one of the games that I just gotta give S tier for just respect alone. Oh, Slendy Tubbies. If this was Slendy Tubbies 3, because it's not Slendy Tubbies 3, my favorite horror game. That's not a joke. If you've not seen Slendy Tubbies 3, highly recommend it. Please go watch someone play it, or even play it by yourself. I love Slendy Tubbies 3, my favorite horror game. Slendy Tubbies, Slenderman ripoff with Teletubbies. It makes sense. I played on the channel a few months ago. I'll probably play it again this October, actually. And this is the first game, so I can't go with my bias on Slendy Tubbies 3, oh my god, this is my favorite horror game, because this is not Slendy Tubbies 3. It's the original Slendy Tubbies, which is not great. I can't say it's bad, but it's not great, so I'm just gonna put it in, put it in B tier. I have a lot of respect for Slendy Tubbies, mainly because it did live with Slendy Tubbies 3, which, as I mentioned before, kind of my favorite horror game. Soma, don't know it. Spacky's Night Shift, nope, get that out of here. Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. Wow! This is gonna be so much nostalgic throwbacks. Spooky's not really that scary, but still a lot of fun, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. Stray Cat Crossing, can't say I know what that is. Telltale! Telltale is one of those horror games that kind of came out. Everyone kind of seemed to like it. Nothing really happened to it. I kind of appreciate that. They didn't go with full hell and neighbor on it. It's nice. And I'm gonna put that actually, not A tier, A tier or B tier? A tier, why not? Killer Furbies, where can you go wrong? I can't pronounce that, and I don't know it. The Baby in Yellow! Hey, we put it on the channel with every new update. been enjoying that game so far. Baby in Yellow, honestly, I think it's a really good, nice contester in the horror game franchise. I don't get see it talked about enough. Honestly, I feel like Baby in Yellow is one of those unique games that I feel more people should talk about. So I'm gonna put it in E tier. Honestly, I feel like if we were talking about this after the full game comes out, which I'm sure in like a year or so, it probably will. I put it in S tier. I don't know. But hey, what can I say? Baby in Yellow, it's a pretty great game. I'm gonna be honest. I really like Baby in Yellow, and I can't wait to play every single update that comes out. The Backroom Survival, but there's so many Backrooms horror games. I know what Inside the Backrooms is, as like we got to that one earlier, but I can't say I know what that is. There's so many of them. The Coma Cutting Class, really fun name, gotta admit. Say that 3 times fast. The Coma Cutting Class. The Coma Cutting Class. The Coma Cutting Class. Okay, maybe it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, but I haven't heard of that. But it sounds really fun. The Complex Found Footage, I can't say I know what that is. The Cooked Man looks really familiar. I've most likely heard of it before, but I can't say I have. The Crypt Terror, again, looks familiar. Probably heard of it before. Can't say I have. The Designer's Curse, again, looks really familiar. I've probably seen it before, but I can't say that I have with 100% certainty. The Terror is Breathing? Can't say I know what that is. The Forest, oh, I remember The Forest. Really underrated game. A lot of nice memories of that game with like oh my god, nice little, it's like Minecraft which is the actual horror game, it's just nice little story, the game was really nice, a really nice game. Put that in A tier. The Heel Wall Loophole, I remember that game. I pretty much remember what that game was about, trust me, I know what it is, I remember it. It was just, it was just fine. It was fine. It was fine. The Horror of Zalazar House. Can't say what that is. But the name is the same name of the village of Pirates of the Caribbean, Damn It Hotels, which is one of the worst ones I've ever seen, so it reminds me of that, which means I'm not gonna like it. Man for the Window. Such a simple game that exploded, and for good reason. It was, get it for a screenshot. It was effective and simple, but all in the best way. Just a nice little game. I can't really complain about it, Just one that's like, you gotta do this or do that. You gotta hide there, Nice with, nice design characters. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean. This nice little simple game. I've seen other games like Crater. They were really good. I really enjoy it. Like how he's solid games. It's really nice. It's simple and almost comforting. The Mortuary Assistant, I know for a fact I recognize that title and that creature, but I can't say I could know the story, so D tier, sadly. The Nightmare of the Air Balloon. Can't say I know what that is, but now I'm very much intrigued. The Park, recognize 100%, I know what that is, but I couldn't tell what the story is about. Smiling Man, I recognize that game. Again, I couldn't tell what the story is about. I'm so sorry. The Upchart, can't say I know what that is. The Witch House, don't know what that is. They See from the Abyss, can't say I know what that is. Timor, don't know what that is. Tunky, I don't know what that is. Uncle Pango's Terrible Little Farm. Now I recognize that game for sure. That game was just nice, simple, sweet. It's just cute, honestly. It's like one of those little cute horror games that's still, honestly, really scary, It's cute, but it's really scary. I'm gonna go see B tier. Just a nice, little, simple, little, game. Little Uncle Panko's Terrible Little Farm. Uninvited, can't say what that is. Unstorted, VHS, I probably know what that is, but can't say I do. Vanish looks familiar, but I can't say what that is. Vapor, maybe I've heard of it, I don't know. Visage, I recognize that name for a fact, and that's all I recognize about it. So I'm sadly gonna put that in the I know but I don't know section. But Visage, I know that name like the better than the back of my hand. Not really, pretty close. I'm never gonna try to pronounce that, but I don't know what it even is. And Zardy's Maze, I've actually heard about that one, but I had not checked it out, so I don't know what any clue what it's about. I've heard of it. I couldn't tell you anything about it. Other than that, it looks like it's gonna be probably on a farm, maybe the Scarecrow. That's all I could tell you. Okay. And we made it to the very bottom. We went through all 150 random indie horror games. We tier listed them, and let's see if I agree with all my decisions here. Just checking it over, make sure I agree. So far I think I do. Yeah, I'm pretty much agree with all this. Yeah, and a lot of you probably not agree with my decisions. Maybe some of you will agree. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about these in the comments below. What would you rank where? Anyways, woo! First video in October 2023! Bye guys for now. Bye bye, Scarlet Thacker.